All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 206 of the KBMOD podcast. It is September 20th, 2015, and we've got a small, intimate cast for you this week. I've been gone, I know, for a couple weeks, and Hex had been planning to host the cast, and then he was stricken for one, only garnering 53 retweets last podcast. I can only assume that the Lord Barndor smited him down with horrible kidney stones.
We said we weren't going to mention this. We were past it.
I said we were past it. However, Hex, I do hope you feel better. But yeah, so Hex is in the ER. Send him your well wishes. Actually, if you're listening to this live or you're in here, actually do tweet Hex, tell him to feel better. And if you're listening to this on the audio version, then fuck it, it's too late. He was in a lot of pain. So, but no,
he's
Hex,
probably high on drugs. He's probably happy at that point.
yeah, I hope they gave him some good stuff. We've got Nikon, obviously. Nick isn't here this week, so Nikon's hopping on. Nikon,
I like how you say obviously because the audio listeners have no idea who we have on. They have no clue.
I mean, Nikon talked a little bit, so I would assume that they would know. Nikon, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
Yeah. You getting settled in on the on your new place?
Oh yeah, like I'm confident in the job. I haven't been really thrown anything. That's going to happen tomorrow, and I get to learn some new stuff. But the boss was out of town for 2 weeks, so
Nice. Yeah.
But the house has just been we're painting constantly. I have my little studio space that's making progress, and the wife's enjoying Pittsburgh. She had a lot of fun when we were over there the other night and hanging out. So
Very nice. Yeah, we had Nikon. Nikon was over with some other people. We played a little bit of Cards Against Humanity. Had some food and stuff. It was good to see everybody. Again, if Mark Sham, if you're out there and listening to this, I apologize for playing Cards Against Humanity because according to Sham, Cards Against Humanity is a dumb game for uncreative people. Which someone has a point,
get on board with that.
but I still really enjoy Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We played it. It had been a while. And, we had a good
I think
gaggle.
it's one of those games that it might not be fun to play with the same group of people all the time, but when you play with different people, it's fun because you get to see how people you don't necessarily know that well react to the game. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was good too. Yeah, we had some good ones, and of course we have Katie Zen, the 18-year-old. Having just launched his career on Pornhub, dude, it is great to have you here.
Yeah.
It's assuming that's what the 18 stands for, to let people know it's okay to jerk off to you, right?
Nailed
Is
it.
that
You nailed it.
okay?
It's
Right,
like
Yeah,
when
just
porn
trying to
stars
grow
are
your
always
audience.
18 years old.
Exactly.
Freshly legal.
Yeah.
I know that's why you have the 18 there, Katie Zen, like so
Thank
that you
God
always
he's 18.
supple and tight for anybody that watches your videos. So,
That's exactly
how are
it.
those videos going, by the way?
Terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's a very niche audience, my porn.
yes.
It's,
No, but it is good to have you here, and obviously, yeah, Brandon hosting the cast in lieu of Hex not being here, at least technically with all the stuff. I will learn to do that myself at some point. I mean, no, it's not too complicated, but Brandon,
the guy that streams every day.
I do stream every day.
It's like it's a daunting task to put together a few scenes and an overlay.
I mean, Hutch does all the hard work for him, so
That's
just make
true.
Hutch do it.
That's true. Next time, yeah, Hutch, if you're listening to this, man, maybe we can set this up for the guys. Okay. All right. So there's a couple things. I mean, we'll talk about what we've been playing. We got to talk about what we've been doing though. I alluded to. We had a couple people over last night. I also got a kitten. I'll just go first because I've got a lot. I've been gone a while. All right. All right. I already got three
Why
cats.
did you get another cat?
Okay, so this is this story, and I'm just I'll tell you what happened. I went when we were at PAX. I ended up visiting my sister and her brother-in-law, and they have this really cute puppy, and it got me thinking. I was like, man, I really want to get a dog. This dog is really cute. Fast forward to like a week later or a little while later, I'm here and I'm talking to my girlfriend. I'm like, we can have dogs here. We have a dog park in the place that we live. Like it would be totally fine. And I was just it's like, you know what I felt like? My womb was like craving. This sounds weird. I don't have a womb, obviously. But it was like, I can only imagine it's like what women, right? When they're like, I really want a baby or I have baby fever. That's what it felt like. Like at that moment when I was talking to my girlfriend, I would have given birth to an animal through my anus if I could. Because I wanted an animal that bad. I would have said, doctor, put it in me and I will carry it full term and I will have a puppy. That's
This is
how
remarkably disturbing.
I'm sorry. I don't know what I think they call it puppy fever. But I was talked down off the ledge. I was talked down off the ledge, and the thing is, dogs are a lot more work. Obviously, it's a lot harder to leave dogs. Like cats are nice in the sense that you can leave them for a couple days and they're less maintenance. So, however, she turned this on me where I was like, okay. We won't get a dog, and then she's like, but we already, she's like, we could get a kitten if you're feeling that, and I'm like, I don't know, like, and then I did that thing that every crazy cat lady or person gets to. I thought to myself, I already have 3. What is 4?
What's one?
And I realized that is the exact slippery slope that you end up in an apartment with 27 cats, and you're tripping over their litter boxes. And eventually they find you dead, and all your cats have eaten you because you like tripped over one, fall down the stairs. I get it.
I think that is the tipping point. Like 3 to 4, it's like, I mean, what work is the 4th one?
It's true,
But then you're gonna just keep justifying that all the way into double digits.
Exactly.
That's how we justified our third.
Yeah, I mean, and Nikon even looked he saw the 4 cats, and he's like, "Oh, you have 4 cats when you were over yesterday, Nikon?" And then you're like, "Well, we have 3 dogs, so I really can't." And so. However, the kitten is really cute. And what happened was, as soon as we went to the Humane Society to adopt her, and I was like, before I went in, I was like, unless we find exactly what we're looking for, we want to get I had all this stuff, but I knew, like, as soon as I stepped in, I was like, we're gonna walk out with a cat. There's just no chance. And sure enough, we did, and she's really cute, and she's a nice addition. But I said no more. We're done. After 4, well, I'm going to get a dog at some point, but no more cats. I'm saying that now so you guys can hold me accountable. On the KBMOD podcast, I am saying Robert Scott Fisher, will not have any more pussies in my life. I'm done. Okay? No more. So,
he's going to dump his girlfriend and get another cat instead. So.
I was going to say, you left yourself a small loophole.
I know. Yeah, well, that's a good point. But yes, 4. So that happened. And that's the main thing, I guess I would say. There's been a couple other things, but I should let somebody else go. I've really talked too long and I'm really embarrassed myself. KD, what's been going on with you, man? You got anything going on in the RL? Hit the VGs.
What?
The RL.
What is the RL? Okay, I'm a young man. Is that like? Oh,
wait. We know you're 18.
I didn't know that RL was real life until just now.
What?
That's terrible.
What?
Okay.
Well.
Okay, hold on. I thought Rocket League, and I was like, I haven't played Rocket League in a long time. Okay, so
informing people.
My goodness.
Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna drop that just right now. Nothing.
Take 2. Take 2. Here we go.
Yeah, take 2. Yeah, I started classes for this semester, so it's been a lot of hard work. I couldn't even say it. But no. One of the teachers' names was he said his name was Ty, and he said, if you ever have trouble remember my name, just remember I am wearing a tie. And the class is silent. The class is silent. But I go, ha! Oh, and I just ruin it. It was awful.
Wow.
It was
Oh,
terrible.
God.
But yeah.
He says that every year too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm wearing a tie.
And you probably
that's the last that he gets.
You probably really actually made his day that because usually it's probably totally silent.
Yeah, he
And
probably
he's like,
appreciated
"Yes,
that courtesy.
Got
laugh.
one!
Yeah, he probably like, finally. I've been doing this for 27 years, and someone just audibly laughed.
Finally.
Man, spring 2013, that killed, but man, the kids these days.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. It's a
Oh,
chart.
man.
Yeah, I had an English teacher who I submitted an assignment that it had a cover sheet, it had a reference page, all this beautiful stuff. She left comments with her grade that said it was too wordy and needed to be more concise, which was a flaw that I was like, okay, yeah, I need to work on that. And she gave me a 3 out of 100.
a 3.
A 3. 3 out
Sure,
of 100.
like a 30. Like she didn't write
No.
the 0.
What was the
No,
justification for even getting 3 points?
Yeah, I actually... Can I read something? I sent her a very aggressive email that I'm so proud of.
I can't wait. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, I won't bother to pull it up because I'll say bits and pieces. I said something like, I had a cover sheet and a reference page, and you graded it as if I had scrawled my name in crayon on the top. And I was so proud of it. And there's so many. It was my finest work, what I've done.
Oh, man. So you
And,
gave
her. Yeah, her justification was that she gives people comments to like how they can improve, but because they have no reason to work on that, the same problems keep growing. And so she gives them threes as like a threat for them to redo the assignment to learn from their mistakes.
Okay.
And I'm like,
So
there's got to be another solution other than giving them someone a three.
See that? Like, I can
That's
tell I would not get along with this teacher at
Oh,
all
God.
because
No.
it's like one of those teachers
Yeah.
that thinks they can make this real significant impact on their life, like on their students' lives, just in
Yeah.
arbitrary ways. It's like you've got to just understand that if people don't take your class seriously or like don't take your advice seriously, not a whole lot you can do about that. Like, you just have
Exactly.
to try and give them good advice and hope that they
Yeah.
learn from it.
Yeah, and then if they're not learning, then you just fail them. Like that's your prerogative. You know
That's
what I
their,
mean?
Yeah, like she could. I mean,
the
she could
mindset.
have given you like
Like
if most students would not be super happy if they put a lot of work into an assignment, they wouldn't be happy with like a 75 or something.
Yeah.
Something that's like, listen, you can redo this, make it more concise. This
Yeah,
is
you
like
know,
all
I
right.
said that to her. I said that to
Yeah.
her, and she's like, "No, students will just take a 60 and be fine. They'll pass." I'm like, "A 60? Yeah, how long have you been teaching?" Like,
yeah, I don't. Wow,
And,
that is suspect. Yeah.
and of course, she's a tenure, so there's no
Oh.
way she's going anywhere, and like nothing's gonna change. She made like a huge point because she did something that was like, "Anybody who has problems, write their questions on the board."
Oh
like
my
she
God.
teaches us like high school kids.
Okay,
It's
Katie, just hear
terrible.
me out on this. I know how you can get back at her. Okay, this is
Ooh,
going.
how?
This might be a long con. Okay,
Please.
You
but
shit
you
on her
need-
desk.
Now listen to me.
Yes.
You need. This is going to require you dying to yourself a little bit, just so that you can have the ultimate satisfaction at the end. You need to seduce her. Okay, so just hear me out on
Oh.
this. You're gonna be like, wow, that is actually incredible. Like you are clearly an incredible teacher. I understand what you're going. Like be exactly. Start molding yourself to exactly what she wants you to be, okay? And then it's going to happen. You're going to be alone in the lecture hall with her late one night going over a paper, and she's going to look at you and you're going to look at her, and there's going to be that sparkle, that crackle in the air, and your eyes are going to meet, okay? Your beautiful emerald eyes are going to meet, and you're going to look at her, and she's going to be wearing a blouse, and it is halfway unbuttoned, okay? You're going to move up there, and you're going to make your move. You guys are not going to make love. You are going to fuck like animals on top of her desk, okay? Obviously, you're both into it. And right as you finish, you're going to move away from her. You're going to slowly put your clothes back on. And then as you're leaving and she says, "Where are you going?" You're going to look into her eyes and you're going to say, "That was a 3 out of 100." And you're going to go back to your car and you're going to drive away. No?
That's
No, that sounds like an excellent idea.
Okay.
Gone.
I don't know. I'm just
Would
saying. I
definitely
think
be
I
the
think it
best.
could work.
It could be the best nut of my life. Obviously, the best nut of her life.
Sure.
It's like close the door.
The key is though to hit her with the 3. She needs to know that it's going to be a 3
Yes.
out of 100.
I'm gonna grab her by the cheek and say, "Listen, Elaine, you know what rhymes with 3? D rhymes with 3. You may give me a 3, but I will give you a D."
shit. All right. Anyway, that's
It'll just play out perfectly.
I think, anyway,
I miss college.
I know that was the stuff we used to do all the time, dude. Seducing those teachers and banging them. It was crazy. Just kidding. All right. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad school's going well overall. Overall, it sounds like. Not really though. Actually, it sounded like you were pretty miserable. But we're just gonna.
If you only have to seduce one of your teachers per term, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's breaking even.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, Brandon. Anything fun or Nikon or Brandon? Do you guys have anything before we do that
Brandon can go ahead.
video? Goes.
I haven't been doing a whole lot. I guess the only thing really is like I've been marathoning TV shows kind of. I started watching Mr. Robot, which is good.
Everyone tells me to watch that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I'm like, I don't know, I'm several episodes in, and it was good. There's only one season of it, but I haven't gotten back to it because I started watching Sons of Anarchy, which is all 6 seasons are on Netflix and Amazon Instant Video. Which, by the way, let me just say, Amazon Instant Video, adding the ability for you to download TV shows and movies, like for Amazon, the free selection you get with Amazon Prime is like such a game changer, because now I'm watching, like, I can watch shows on the train or when I'm on a plane, And that's like the worst thing about Netflix is a lot of times when I want to watch something, I'm not in a place with like internet good enough to watch Netflix. So that's that. I've downloaded like a whole bunch of those, and Sons of Anarchy is pretty good. I've watched a lot of
That's
that.
another one that I know people always say is fantastic. So
My wife is watching that right now, and I want to watch it, but I just don't have the time because I have so many projects I want to do. But every once in a while, I'll be done, and I'll go up there and I'll sit. But I always feel bad because I want to say, so what did I miss in like the last
No,
5
yeah, see,
episodes?
that is the
And
worst
then,
thing you can do.
yeah, don't be one of
Like,
those people.
Like sometimes Hillary will ask me like what's been going on, and I'm just like I can't do this. If you can either
Yeah.
watch the show
I can hear
or like
you saying
just
I can't do this.
you know
I
or
can't
just
go
or
on
just
like
like
this.
pick up the pieces from where we are now.
Yeah,
But
that's what I do. I never ask. It's just like a bunch of people got shot and it's entertaining. So you'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
But God, that I've only watched probably 3 episodes of that over a span of probably 1.5 seasons, and I'm like, I'm hooked, and I have no idea what's happening, but it's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like watching shows where their full run is completely out, so I can just like marathon them at my own pace and only watch that until I'm done with it. So I'm almost through like 3 seasons, and there's 6 seasons, and then I realize how much time it actually takes to watch 6 seasons of a TV show.
That is a lot,
Like it is
yeah.
a lot of time. I did that with Breaking Bad, and I did it over like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and that was like the only way I could have done it in the time I did it. I did it in like a matter of a few weeks, but it was like 5 or 6 seasons. So anyway, that's about all I've done. Is I've just like come home and I've watched TV and I've played the occasional game. So
Okay.
my life's pretty great.
That's a good segue. That's a perfect segue, Brandon, into what we've been playing. So I'm gonna let you just pick up. You said the occasional game, Brandon. What are you playing?
Yeah, I played a little more Diablo. I played actually started a second character because my first character I had gotten almost the best gear I could, so I started a second barbarian and played that a bit. Got to level 70 in like 10 minutes. So Diablo is fun. It's fun to mess around with. I'm not actually sure how much more I'll play it because the fun thing is when everyone's playing it and like you have an active guild, then it's a lot of fun. But then if you don't really have people to play with, I don't necessarily want to grind on my own.
Yeah.
So I played that some. I've been meaning to play more Rocket League because they reset the ranks and they're in their first ranked season.
Ooh.
But I just haven't gotten a chance to because I have to play it when I'm at home and I have my Xbox controller, and I just have like it. That's enough of a barrier to make me not want to play a game. Like, oh, I have to my controller that is on my desk. I have to plug it in, and it's. And then it's
Oh my
like,
god.
And then I
Oh,
hate
no.
myself when I realize that that's like the barrier
That's
to me
what's-
playing a game. So
Yeah.
the only thing I've really played is Hearthstone. I've just been playing a lot of Hearthstone. That's why I was gone last weekend. I was at the Archon Team League Championships, so
Okay.
continuing to play Hearthstone. I still enjoy
Speak-
it.
There's a lot of really good. I don't know about a lot, but a lot of players, decent players I know, when you're talking about the Rocket League, are play with the keyboard, and they're like, you don't need the controller, which I
Yeah.
have never been able to do.
Well,
but
I mean, I started
some
playing
people's-
when I first started playing Rocket League. I played with the keyboard, and it was okay. It was just that it's one of those games that I feel like the controller is a little more comfortable than the keyboard.
Yeah.
I was able to play with the keyboard. It's not like I felt like I couldn't. It's just that the controller is really natural because there are only a handful of things you need to do, and it is a little like the reason I initially switched to the controller is because you can't make slight turning movements with the keyboard. It's analog. You're either going
Yeah,
left
right.
or going right,
Right.
or going forward, and with the controller you can make slighter movements. And in a game like Rocket League, that's pretty important. When you're like going to flip and hit a ball, you don't necessarily want to go completely to the left. You want to go like kind of up and left, so that's why I switched. But I mean,
Okay.
some people do play with keyboard, and I just think it's maybe a little bit harder to get really proficient with the keyboard.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I played. I'll just go real quick because we're segueing from Rocket League. I was in the KBMOD Extra Life tournament and got 2-0'd by Ches and Drake, and I
mean-
was using a controller. But my God, Ches, first of all, he admitted to me that he has no life and he's played over 200 hours. of that game. So, but it did make me. I was like, man, I should play more Rocket League because I need to learn how to do aerials and some of the other. I haven't put that much time into it,
we
but
should play together some. Like,
yeah,
I really
we should
enjoy
try.
playing like ranked twos or ranked threes. Just even if someone's not necessarily as good as I am, or if I'm not as good as they are, I like playing with someone who will set you up. And like even if you miss the ball for
Yeah.
the setup, it's like
Yeah.
you still get the chance, to score in like the way that you would score in a proper game.
Sure.
Whereas playing with pubs, it's like they're gonna try and go for the goal every time.
Yeah, and I do have to give credit. So Mike and dude with the nose, they won they did win the tournament, and
They did
they did to
indeed.
take Ches out in the semifinals, I believe.
It's quite an accomplishment.
So yeah, so I don't know if that's going to go, Brandon, in your category of Mike becoming any more of a person to you. I'm not sure if that counts for anything, but I just wanted to
No.
throw that out there.
No, it
Okay,
doesn't.
just okay, just checking. But
But I'm glad he won. That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, it's good. It's good. Won some good money for his page.
He's got to clean up something in his life.
Jeez. All right. Oh, and what else was I going to say? Okay, so I'll just go with what I've been playing, then we'll jump to you guys. I started. I recently finished Deus Ex: Human Revolution, which was fantastic. Basically, if a game came out 5 years ago, I'm just getting to it now with how I'm pretty much set up. But that was honestly one of the better games I've played in a long time. Really enjoyed that. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about Deus Ex, the new game that's coming out because of their DLC controversy. So we will talk more about that later. And I
Stay
started
tuned.
Mafia. Stay tuned, yeah. Mafia 2 I started, which is actually really fantastic as well. So I've been playing through that. And then Counter-Strike, as always. And I am just itching for the final episode of Life is Strange. I cannot tell you.
I can't wait.
Really ready for that. Really ready for that. So
I feel like that's
should be
something I
good
should
fun.
play.
I think you would enjoy it. I think you would find a lot of similar humor that I find, but I think it's fun. I think it's definitely Katie's end because you played it. I would say for the
Yeah.
money, right? For the money, like there's a lot of game in there if you take your
Oh
time.
yeah, what is it, like 15 for the season?
It's like
pass?
15. I think 15 for the season or something.
15,
like that.
20. Yeah,
I
it
bought
starts
it.
off
I'm just
slow.
waiting to
but-
stream again.
It starts off slow, but comparatively, episode 4 is just
Insane.
crazy moment after crazy
Goes
moment.
nuts.
And like
Yeah.
going back from that to episode 1, it's just like wow. I used
And
to
that
think
was-
this was okay, and then, but it's definitely
exactly. It's. I mean, at the very least, there's a lot of stuff you'll cringe at and laugh. I mean, and to be fair, it is like the ultimate. It is a great game to stream because everybody gets to watch the insanity with you. But there's a certain level where like clearly the developers are pretty aware. They put a lot of memes in the game and stuff like that, which they really do. And
Some of those T-shirts are fantastic though.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
some of the shirts
I like a
that
good
Warren
meme.
wears.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
No, you would definitely. I think you would dig it, and it actually makes me, after playing some of the more recent Telltale games, I'm like, holy shit, dude! Telltale just phones it the fuck in after just the amount of detail with like Life is Strange and at the price point. Like, I did not like the new Telltale Game of Thrones and some of the other stuff. So anyway, it made me go like, Telltale, step your shit up. So I think you would. I think you would dig that personally. I don't know. That
Controversy.
might be just me, my opinion. I
That's
don't
good.
know.
I mean, I really liked season 1 of The Walking Dead, and
Mhm.
I haven't played the rest of them, but I feel like
Did you?
Oh,
You should play Wolf
gotta
Among
play
Us.
season
It's-
2.
that's yeah.
Wolf
that's-
Among Us.
Wolf
Yeah,
Among
it's
Us
so
2
good.
is another one I've heard that I need to play as well.
God, I need to play all of these games.
Yeah, you should.
All I've heard is good
Very
things
good.
too.
Let me open up my Steam catalog of thousands of games that I need to play.
You need to
Yeah.
play. Yeah, exactly.
I actually went through my library like a couple days ago, and I like did those little categories you can do for your games, and I made like a need to finish or a need to play category,
That
and I
is a
ended up
good
with like
idea.
I have like 98 games in that category now, so I have a lot.
I
to,
had done that.
this-
I had done that a
definitely
little
bucket
while
list.
back. Like I had just put all of the games that I had planned to play in my favorites, and then I got annoyed because I had to scroll to find a game that I wanted to play.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
it was such a long list.
That is such a first. Oh my god, a sickening first world
It
problem.
was-
But
yeah,
yes,
I felt
I
I
understand.
felt really bad.
yeah. Good lord. All right, Katie's. What about you? What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5. Some more of that. I'm about 40 hours in, and I'm 20% complete.
That's
To give you an idea.
insane.
Yeah, but I've been playing it really slow. I've been looking at
Okay.
everything, so that makes sense. And actually, since the last time I was on the cast, I finished the Metal Gear Solid marathon I was doing, which is playing 3, 4, Peace Walker, and 5. I won't talk about like all of them, but I'll just say that 3 and 4 are like, I thought when people ask like what's your favorite Metal Gear Solid game, it's such a tie between 3 and 4 because like 3 still has that issue with like pressure sensitive controls. Have any of you played the old Metal Gear Solids on like PS2?
A long time
A
ago.
very long time, like when they would have
Okay,
Like
yeah,
1 and
yeah.
2.
yeah.
Yeah, I when I finished 3, I was just thinking this is, how can it ever get any better than this? And like 4, the balance with 4, like a lot of the guns, you get some really like amazing equipment early on that kind of throws off the balance of the game. But it's just so many insane orgasmic fan service. You would never expect this to happen moments in 4 that like overall game, I think 3 might be better, but 4 is just more enjoyable. And then 5 just plays the best of any Metal Gear Solid, although it does have some like story problems. But anyways, Metal Gear Solid.
Is Metal Gear Solid 5 Game of the Year? From what you
I haven't
so
played
far?
enough to say so because I've heard from a lot of people that after
He's
a
only
certain-
played 40 hours.
40 hours. You're like,
Yeah, I've
That's-
heard from so many people like Tim. He said that after Act 2, it just takes the worst nosedive into replaying old missions, a story like there were last episodes and stories that were like just cut from the end of the game. So I need to finish it before I can say like so far my game of the year is probably Bloodborne, but I think it might be torn between the two. Speaking of which, I've been playing some Bloodborne, trying to get ready for the DLC, and some Dark Souls 2, which just I'll stop. I would talk forever if I just kept going.
This is gonna be like a blacklight trigger. Like where,
Yeah, it would. It was about to be. And there's some
All right,
people
that's
hate
fine.
Dark Souls talk.
people always. Well, anyway, I don't hate it, but we'll spare the people that do. We have talked.
I just can't contribute to it, which is why I just
That's
kind of
the
sit
problem.
back because I don't.
That's
Yeah.
I don't have
like-
enough of a knowledge base to speak intelligently about it.
yeah.
Dark Souls.
I haven't played Witcher 3. I know a lot of people are like, Witcher 3? That was Game of the Year? I haven't played it, so. But,
All
yeah,
right,
that's all.
sounds good. Nikon, what about you?
The only thing I've really played is hopping on a few games of Rocket League, which if you don't own Rocket League, it's $20. You pick it up. It's fun. Even if you're not that great at it at the start, it's fun when you suck, when you're like adequate, and then when you get into more advanced games and you go against people that are really good, it's constantly fun. The matches are short. It kind of reminds me of like the Call of Duty effect where you're like, all right, I'm just going to play one quick game. And then next thing you know, like 3 hours later, that's all you've done is just played. And the matches are so quick. You're like, just one more. Oh, we lost that. Okay. One more game. We're going to get this one where it's like, God, I've gone to work and needed coffee many times because of this game. Just barely making it into work, just falling asleep at the wheel. It's not good.
I think the
but
thing I
it's
like
fun.
about it too is it's one of those games that will be fun a year or two from now as well. Like the game will not get old whenever you decide to come back to it. Like if you play it for a little bit right now and then you put it down and you don't come back to it for months, like it's still gonna be really fun the next time you pick it up. It's always like that gameplay just doesn't get old.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun with people. Well, it's significantly more fun. Like you were hitting on before with, if you can rely on your teammates where you know they're going to center the ball, so you need to be there to pop it in, and you know that someone's going to hang back for defense, it's good. So pick that up. But that's really all I've been able to play just because I don't have a lot of time for gaming. I finally set up my desk so I can do that, but we'll see when I can actually get on the grind and start playing a bunch of these backlog games I have.
All right.
So.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're going to run a quick commercial here, and then we will jump into the news. We've got some good things to discuss, and of course, what I'm calling it the Let's Get Mad section, which I don't know if we're going to get mad. Maybe formerly known as Rant of the Week. We have Nikon. Hopefully, will cue a clip for us when we are ready to do that. A blast from the past, for definitely for you audio listeners. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Yeah, we're going to run an ad right now. And if you're listening to the audio version, you're not going to hear an ad at all because we're just going to keep talking, and I'm not going to edit it out. So hit all the viewers with the ad, though. Hit them with that. So.
All right. We're in the middle of it, so make this conversation slightly less interesting than the rest of the cast.
Okay, just a little. Yeah, so because we don't want to penalize people for
Don't
watching
wanna tone
ads.
it
That's a
down.
good point. That's a good point. So how's everyone's bowel movements been going lately? Are you guys okay? Here, no, this is actually a legitimate question.
Pretty well.
Okay,
That's good because people in my chat, someone in my chat was like, "How many times a day do you poop?" And I was like, right away, I was like, I think like 2, usually like once, but it could depend obviously on what I ate. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. What is a healthy? And then we couldn't come to a number
4?
of what is healthy. Well, we couldn't
4
come to a
is a
number of what
lot.
is healthy. And people in my chat were like, "Dude, if you eat healthy, you're shitting like 6 times a day." I was like, I don't think 6 times a day is healthy.
6.
And then
That has to be someone trolling you. Like, no one thinks
know.
that's healthy.
they were probably, well, I don't know if they were trolling. And then on the other side of the spectrum, one dude was like, "Dude, I haven't shit for like 2 weeks," and I was like, "Dude, that's not."
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So what? I think
like,
2
I
for
look
me is
at,
average.
I look at healthy as like you not having to think about how many times you have in like the past several days. If you're
Yeah.
not worried about it because it's too frequent or not frequent enough, then you're
Right.
fine.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's probably a good point too. I'm curious though. I want everyone's actual answer. Mine's probably, I would say, average 2. KD, what do you think for yourself?
I think every other day.
Every other? Okay, so
Yeah.
you skip days. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean that
Probably
happens
like
to me
once a
sometimes.
day.
I have also a terrible diet. I have ramen noodle meals. I have frosted flakes.
Yeah, that can,
Every
that can
single
back you up a bit. Nikon, what do you think?
It depends. Like for a while, I was every 2 to 3 days, but now
Okay.
I'm on the regular once a day.
Once a day?
Usually right after my lunch
Yeah.
at work.
I
I
think
like
I-
pooping
I
at
think-
lunch or pooping at
Yeah.
work because then you get paid to poop.
Exactly.
And then I like
That's
to get
always
out
the
a
best.
calculator and be like, all right, if I'm spending this long here and I do it once a day, and then I work this many,
Yeah.
just calculate how much you get paid to poop sometime. That'll
Hmm.
fucking blow your mind.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, this
Say
has
we are
been
back
very.
from commercial.
We are back. Sorry, guys. We were just having a quick little discussion about bowel movements. I was getting an informal poll on what my fellow casters, how many times a day they poop, and we heard a couple different answers. I'm around 2, sometimes 1. Katie Zen said every other, and Nikon's like around 1 during lunchtime. And Brandon, I think, what did you say? You're around 1 or 2
Once a day. Yeah.
once a day. Sounds good. All right. Well, again, we're always dedicated to spreading knowledge, and that does not limit knowledge about bowel movements. So, all
Shit
right.
talk
So we're
with
gonna
KBMOD.
shit. Exactly. Yeah. Literally. Maybe we need a podcast about that. I don't know. We'll see.
We should
Well,
check in
actually-
every week just to make sure. Like, if we have anyone that's a doctor listening,
could-
and they might be like, "Oh no, he went from once a day to every 3 days. He might have
Someone
this."
chart this down.
How about this? How about we do the food cast? We do 30 minutes of a food cast, and then we do 30 minutes of what happens after we ate the food that we just ate on the food cast.
That sounds like
and then
a great
talking
way
about
to
our,
tank a food cast.
our bowel movements. Yeah, I think that could be good.
During the
all right.
cast, we take a 10-minute break and we go to the bathroom and we come
then
back
we-
and we describe what happened.
We bring a sample of our stool. We examine it and
Wait, hold on,
see
hold
how
on,
it's.
I'll
the
be-
camera.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
Got some
Okay.
specks here and here.
Just spitballing here, but could be huge, literally and figuratively, depending on how much we ate. All right, so we got some news on Need for Speed. So Need for Speed.
Wait. Can I just
What?
take a moment? Because
Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking about this today since we're talking about pooping.
Oh God. Okay.
So I had a normal poop. It was nice or whatever. We picked up this toilet paper.
Oh, this is a great
Quilted
discussion.
Northern
Ooh.
Yes.
Ultra Plush.
Ultra plush.
Three soft
Wow.
layers.
Yes.
My butthole has never felt
Royalty.
this good in my entire life, other than that one night with Nick. But we won't go into details.
If
If you need, let me just give you a little word of advice. As an adult, I've been on this earth 30
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
If there's one place you don't want to cut corners, it's with your teepee.
I
So
totally
when you're
agree.
sitting there and you're gonna look at the generic stuff versus this right here, and they're not paying me. Well, they are paying me with one wipe at a time, but just
yeah, that's true.
spend the extra $1 or $2 and treat yourself. All right.
Well, here's
That's
the
right.
thing. Like there is such a wide spectrum between like what you have there, which is like the red carpet, and what you'll get in like an office building. Your one ply like basically cardboard.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, there absolutely is. And I actually had so all growing up, my mother we were never wealthy growing up, so my mom always bought the cheapest value of everything. And recently, when I went home, This was actually probably like maybe I say recently, like 2 years ago. I brought up I was in there taking a massive dump in my old stomping ground, and I went after I wiped myself. I was like, and because I had been buying really nice toilet paper as I've been out of the house for years, and I was like, it felt like sandpaper, and I said to my mom, I was like, Mom, why? I was like, I understand, like I'm not talking about spending a little bit of money, but why do we not spend like just get a little bit better toilet paper? And ever since that day, that really like she took it to heart, and every time I go home, there's really nice toilet paper waiting for me. And I don't know if she just brings it out when I come home, and then she's like, "All right, now that the prince is gone, we're back to the sandpaper." I don't know, but she really did take it to heart. And
I think for me, it's one of those where like you don't have to get the absolute nicest they offer, but toilet paper is probably one of those things that you don't want to buy like the store brand. Right, you don't want to buy like the generic brand of toilet paper. You probably want to buy like some Quilted Northern or some Charmin, something nice. It doesn't have to be their nicest one, but the difference is very clear.
Well,
Also,
here's the thing too.
Sorry, go ahead.
When you have like the 1 ply or the half ply, when you do that, at least me, with this stuff, I just take like 3 squares or so, and it's enough because you got triple
use way
layers.
less.
And then you do a little fold and you're good to go. You're not going to get the little poopies on your fingertips. When you have...
That is the first time that the phrase "you will not get the little poopies on your fingertips" has ever been said on this podcast, and I just don't want to let the moment pass without saying it aloud. Okay, again.
But when you have the thin toilet paper, when I see that stuff, I slam that thing down and it goes... And I'm probably like using 6 feet per wipe because you don't want to get shit on your hands. And if you use the thin stuff, if you don't have enough defense, it's gonna happen. So you're
right.
gonna spend more money per like foot with the cheap stuff. Just get this stuff, and it's like you don't want to buy the cheap condoms either.
Listen,
you got to get good stuff. So
wet wipes.
Just don't get shit on your fingers.
Katie, that's what I was
Wet
about to
wipes.
say next. They will change
So
how
simple.
and they are get you
they're good.
wet wipes, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, wet wipes are for kids. Like, grow up.
No,
They're
no,
the
no.
best.
My wife's watching this right now. Babe, can you go on Amazon? Can you order some of those? Because we haven't had those in a while, and they're really
Those
good.
are so, and they make. They make them for. I had a sample pack. I still am using one of the sample packs, and this was only like I've had it for like a month, and it is You can the wet wipe, dude. You feel so clean afterwards. It's the best thing besides having a bidet installed in your house, which would cost a lot of money. You can just use a wet wipe, and
It takes things off in one wipe that you would have to like scrape away for hours with some Kroger ass paper. Grow up.
Oh man, this is the intro to the new section. I don't
Is
know.
the
How
I can't
commercial
tell-
still
I
rolling?
can't tell necessarily what is hyperbole with you and what's not. And when
the
you
wet
say
wipes really are
when you
amazing.
say you have stuff that takes hours to get out,
Dude, just jump in the
That's
shower
misleading.
at that point. Come on.
Well, hey, I said I have ramen noodle meals for Flakes every day. It comes with a price.
I don't.
My wife has apparently already ordered the wipes.
Don't
God
blame
bless
Frosted
Amazon.
Flakes for what's going on with you.
that's not... Oh man.
So in the news,
Anyway, all right. So let's.
Oh,
okay.
Need for Speed. Yeah.
Yes, Need for Speed. So Need for Speed, Mike's going to be very sad about this, but actually maybe happy because Need for Speed for PC has been delayed. And additionally, the other sad news is that there will be no beta. I think as a result possibly of this delay, but there will be no beta for the new Need for Speed game. However, the good news is the reason that they're doing this essentially is because they've heard the cries of the PC community that have said that if we're going to have a Need for Speed game, we have to have an unlocked frame rate. So their stance is that they fully agree, but they're moving the release date to spring 2016 is what the word is. And some of the remarks are basically saying that what happens that people are surprised at how far they're pushing the release date, and
I was
it's
going to
probably
say, like the reasoning doesn't exactly line up with the amount of time, saying that it's going to basically take 3-4 months, November to spring 2016, to unlock the frame rate.
I know, I know.
Come on, guys.
I mean, or I think that just means that the port probably, as it is right now, Brandon, is probably like god awful, maybe, and it's probably way more than the frame rate, I would
That's
guess.
what I have to think. It's just like I wonder why you say something like that. Just say something generic. Don't
Yeah.
say, "Oh, you told us that you wanted an unlocked frame rate. Because of that, we agree
Yeah.
with you, but because of that, we're delaying the launch 4 months
Or month, yeah.
to unlock the
That's
frame rate."
true.
It's like, "No, you're not."
We could have had
man.
Jim go in and edit the INI file, but we're going to have a meeting about this, and then we're going to have an executable meeting, and then after that, we're going to have to do testing because those INI files are complicated.
Before we can go into the INI file, we actually have a company cruise that's going to take 3.5 months, and we can't skip it. So we'll do that. We'll come back and we'll revisit this. But yeah, no, it is a really long time for something.
I think it's a good thing though, because we've noticed like the new Call of Duty when they had the beta. I only got to play it for a little bit. It had all the PC features day one. This hopefully will have all the features day one. It's getting pushed back. I would rather have this than them releasing a broken piece of crap that has to either get patched or we have to use a third-party program, which could, in some games, like if you're playing this online, could get you banned depending on how they want to handle that. So I think it's a good thing personally.
They did say that it's gives them necessary development time to increase the visuals. So, I mean,
Yeah,
or
but that's
talk
like
about
that's the
higher
thing.
res
Just say that.
textures.
Just say that.
Yeah.
Say like just be honest. I have no problem with them saying like giving sort of things that they're going to do with the additional development time. And an unlocked frame rate, I agree. Like as a PC player, that's important. But don't just say like unlocked frame rate and it's delayed by 4 months. If you're gonna say that, like say the other things you're gonna do within that 4 months. Clearly, you're gonna do. I would hope you're gonna do more than that. Or if you don't have anything else you can really give details on, then just say something vague like, performance isn't quite up to par yet, or increase the visuals, or I don't know, some fluffy thing that's like, well, we're gonna delay the release. I don't think
If we're
anyone
being
looks at
honest-
it as a bad thing, but like just don't. I just don't know why you say something like that, which then makes people question like, clearly it doesn't take 4 months to unlock the frame rate.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Now we're gonna have devs come out saying, "Oh, listen, we spilled all the champagne on the hardware. It's gonna take us another 4 months to
We
fix it
nuked
all
everything.
up."
Yeah. Darkwing raises a good point though, but he said two words for why PC delays are more common: Steam refunds, which actually speaks to a comment below, which I just that someone in the comments said that my guess is that this port is in such lousy condition that they need this time to fix it, aka WB's latest Batman. That you know what I mean? That the companies are looking and saying, if we're going to release something that's going to be this shitty and people are really excited about this, we don't want to deal with the Steam refunds. And I don't. I think I don't know. I don't think that's the only reason, but I would say that would be a factor. That probably scares companies. They don't want a debacle like that.
I
mean, I haven't.
It's absolutely a factor.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think.
I haven't.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I haven't experienced the need to refund a game on Steam since they released that. But I guarantee you the majority of people who do that, even if the game gets fixed, they don't rebuy it. They just go, you know what, I wash my hands of this game. There's plenty of other ones. So now that we have that option, they don't have, it's before you bought the game and it was in your library and maybe you're like, oh, they fixed it, maybe I'll re-download it. Now it's like, nope, refund. See you later. So they have to actually release a good game. So
Right. I know.
that,
Shocking.
that could
right?
be it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. Moving on from that, we've got this little game, Star Wars. I think it's pronounced Battlefront or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. It's a little
Battlefront.
Battlefront. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little indie game that is starting to garner a lot of attention, which is pretty. I'm just fucking kidding. It's Star Wars fucking Battlefront, and everyone's just fucking jizzing. And right now, I just said that, and everyone just looked in their wallets, found all the cash they had, and they threw it at the screen. They didn't get anything, but this is a game that makes people throw money at you when you mention the name. It's going to have a beta, which we already knew. But it has offline and split screen co-op, and it will be open to everybody. So we get basically some more details on the beta, which is pretty interesting. And I'll just read this quote real quick from the article. It says, "For now, I can tell you this: the beta will consist of both our offline and online modes, including co-op and split screen co-op, and it will take place on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and via Origin for PC. So we have you covered regardless of your next generation platform of choice." So. That is
Have
what
they
the
talked
blog
about
said.
co-op? Have they talked about co-op at all for
I don't.
Battlefront? Or
That's a good question. I don't know up until this point if they had talked about it all that much. I think you're saying in the beta or in the game itself.
oh,
Overall?
just in the game at all? Because I'm just thinking
Um,
like if they were like those kind of missions that were in Battlefield 3, I think.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like imagine like co-op raid the Death Star, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oof, I'm getting excited.
I'm excited.
Battlefront? What?
Looking at these fucking screenshots. Like, part of me knows that it can't be as good as like the videos and the screenshots that I've seen. I don't know, or maybe it will be. I don't know. I'm just a little bit jaded. I'm sure it's going to be really fun. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on
Am I
what
reading
you've
this
seen of
right?
that?
That it's not. It sounds like their beta will be open to everyone. Like it's not going to be tied to pre-ordering the game or something. If they
That's
actually do a proper open beta that's actually open to everyone,
that's
then
what it looks like.
that to me is some kind of like positive statement, because in some of the previous Battlefield games, they've basically done like a marketing beta, right? Not like
Right,
it's not a
exactly.
real beta. It's just like, well, if you pre-order the game, you get to play the beta, and that's a way to get you to pre-order the game. If they make this open to everyone, that actually makes me feel better than like previous Battlefield launches, because it tells me maybe they actually do care about ironing out the bugs in this game. Like
Yeah.
I want to believe that's what a beta is for after all. And like this is a pretty monumental game in scope. So like I hope this is open to everyone, because if I get the chance to play it on Origin, like in kind of a close to finished form, and see whether it's worth my money or not, then I would be way more likely to order it closer to launch day. Otherwise, I'm just not going to pre-order it. Like I'm not gonna order it until I see what that game is like day one, after the
Yeah.
debacle with Battlefield.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. So yeah, I mean, from at least according to the article and what we're looking at now, it's will be open. Yeah, regardless of pre-order. At least is what I'm seeing here. So that'll be interesting.
That's good. I
Um,
want to look forward to that game.
Yeah.
But I'm just like I'm so jaded with EA launches and like the situation around Battlefield that I can't get excited about it until after it's out and other people test the game for me.
I like the fact that there's an open beta because I'll actually get to play it, and then maybe that will scratch my itch, and then I'll be like, "Yep, this will be the flavor of the month," and then I'll go back to Rocket League. But I got to play it, so that's cool.
Yeah. I will
'Cause
definitely.
I
I
don't
mean, because I'm not personally myself. I never embraced the Battlefield. I enjoy Battlefield to a certain extent, but I never played it enough to really become a big Battlefield fan. So, same thing for me. Like the fact that this is going to be open, I will definitely download it and play
Just
it.
wait until Bad
Test it
Company
out.
3.
Yeah,
Then you'll be
that's.
a Battlefield fan.
I played a ton of Bad Company 2. Tons of Bad Company 2. I really like that game. So.
I will throw all of what I just said out the window for Bad Company 3.
Will you? You'll just okay. You'll be throwing your money at the screen for Bad Company 3.
Bad Company 2 is like legitimately one of my favorite games of all time.
It's a really good game.
Bad
Same.
Company 3, they can do no wrong with me in Bad Company 3 if they actually make it.
Okay. You've heard it. You have been given Brandon has just told you, EA, what you need to do.
100%. Write in your letters. Bad Company 3.
Get it done. Get it
Boycott
done.
boycott until it happens.
All right, and then the final, more major piece of the news is Konami is they're wrapping up their AAA production, which we've known for a while on their bigger titles. Aside from the gem that we all play, dude. Again, a game that all of us are very familiar with, Pro Evolution Soccer. We all play it all the time here on the
Oh
cast.
yeah, it's a classic.
I'm playing it right now.
It's a real classic. Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. But so other than that, though, they are they're pretty much done in the AAA sphere. So obviously we know about the cancellation of the Silent Hills, removal of the playable teaser of PT for the PlayStation Store. There's been a lot of things, and we've been like, what's going on with Konami? And they don't want to be in the business of making big, expensive games anymore. However, this is the quote from them, and you tell me if this isn't like, we want to make games that are a lot cheaper to make, that will make tons of money on mobile. But Konami will continue to embrace the challenge of creating entertainment content via different platforms across not only mobile platforms. Across only mobile platforms is how I read that, but for home consoles, arcade units, and cards to meet the changing needs of the times. That is what they said in their official letter to Polygon. But this has been a long time coming, and they've even said themselves that they really want to focus on the mobile market.
That's just like
And
some great
We
PR
will
speak.
continue to make.
it is.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
some
yeah.
truly great. Like when you think you can be like you think you could be PR staff at a company. Like just
Yeah,
think,
like-
are you able to write a sentence that literally says nothing?
It says absolutely.
It
Mhm.
says nothing, but it
Yeah.
leaves open the door for them coming back to do AAA development, to do like games they've never done before. It leaves the door open for anything. It tells you absolutely nothing. So, like, bravo for that statement, Konami.
Konami will continue to develop slot machines of all your favorite IPs.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean,
They seem
Yeah,
like
and-
such a weird company.
it is bizarre. I mean, and there was all that stuff that came out about what a terrible workplace, Konami was and all this stuff. They are, so there will be the Metal Gear Online, which launches in October for consoles, and next year on PC. So that, I mean, they're still going to be running and maintaining that, one would hope, obviously. And then if you're a huge soccer, or as they say in the UK, footy,
Football.
a huge footy fan. Yes. I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody in the UK. Like, no, that's not what we say, mate. No. Sorry, Neil.
Who the
all your
fuck are you
accents.
fucking
You
mate?
what?
Yeah, I'll beat your ass. If you love the footy, then Pro Evolution Soccer 2016, man, you can get your Konami nuts off that way. So, all is not lost. All right, so that's the main stuff as far as the more that part of the news section. But we are going to talk about something in a little bit, not necessarily a roundtable. We're just going to discuss what's going on with the Deus Ex Mankind Divided pre-order stuff that's going on. But first, I think we have a clip, Nikon, if we can play that, of the old rant of the week. This is what that sounded like.
Rant of the week! I don't know what we're yelling about! Rant of the
Oh, it's on repeat.
I blew it.
It's all right. Only 90s kids audio listeners will remember that. So basically, I think this has been brought up to me actually multiple times. I don't know if you guys got a chance to look at the article, but it is by no other than Ben Kuchera. But basically, the article talks about the fact that his excitement for the new Deus Ex game is kind of hampered by this really kind of and bizarre and I don't think ever done before DLC scheme that seems to be going on. And I'm just going to read this to you guys as this is the actual text in what they sent out about the pre-order. So, the Augment Your Pre-Order initiative starts today at Tier 1, which gives pre-order customers a choice between 3 loadouts. Tier 2 gives customers a choice between a digital art book or a soundtrack sampler. Tier 3 will unlock a mission called Desperate Measures. Tier 4 gives customers a choice between a digital comic book or novella. Most notably, perhaps, is the final tier, which, if reached, and this is their quote. I'm sorry. This is Ben Kuchera summing up one of their pre-order stuff. This is him basically quoting himself in the article, and this is from them. The game will release 4 days before the official release date, if this pre-order tier is meant, which is I assume, and that will release 4 days early for everybody if they reach the amount of pre-orders that they want, which we'll get into that in a minute. So basically, it's that basically made everybody very upset, and I can kind of understand that. So we're going to talk about the fact that we've talked a lot about pre-orders, and I think our official stance on KBMOD is don't fucking do it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I've pre-ordered a game in a very, very long time, personally. But the reason that I want to talk about this is because there was actually a really interesting comment in response to this article about, and it gets into a bigger issue when it comes to, like, why are we getting squeezed for all this pre-order stuff? Obviously, companies are trying to make more money from us. And Ben Kuchera's whole point in this article, basically, is that the people that are, like, the loyal fans are the ones that, that pay $60 for the game are the ones that are getting squeezed here or kind of left out in the dark, where it's like, okay, what do I want? Like, do I get this? Do I get the book? Like, I don't want to miss out. And they're kind of, the ones that they know that they're going to get their money. These are the people that the company's kind of taking for granted. However, there was a response, and I'm going to stop talking. We're all going to talk about this in a minute, but I just have to give you the context. There was a comment from this guy named Taters, and basically his whole point is that he doesn't understand why people are so upset. He says, I don't understand. This is an optional bonus. You can still buy it new for the normal price without worrying about bonus soundtracks or art books or whatever. How is that any different than going in and buying a game that is new in the past. How is that any less exciting? You have to pay extra for extra stuff. What is so insulting about that? Just don't participate in the pre-order stuff. He says people waiting to buy games used or waiting until they're super devalued on Steam is exactly why developers have to pull bonus DLC tactics and microtransactions out. They're desperately trying to make money because, and this is the kicker, because the price of games hasn't changed since the PS2, which we discussed, Nikon, and games are more expensive than ever to make. So whereas the $60 cap for most AAA titles, but when we look at how much money goes into developing these titles, that hasn't changed. So he says people who bitch about the stuff like this and buy used out of spite are poisoning the industry. So I really want to kind of address his comment and the greater thought that games really, to be honest, haven't changed in price. At least the AAA titles at the $60. And do we think that is his comment in response to what we're talking about here even justified? Because I mean, this is a pretty big pre-order stunt, right? So,
well,
what are
I just want to clarify like one thing. So, the being released 4 days earlier, is that to where if that incentive is reached, where everyone ever, like anyone, gets it 4 days earlier, or only the people that pre-ordered it get it? 4 days
so
earlier?
that apparently, according to Ben
Okay.
Kuchera, he thought that it meant everyone. He said that he emailed them, and that he's still trying to confirm. I don't think they emailed him back, but I think it's supposed to be for everyone. Yes.
I gotcha. It's just, I mean, it's punishing people who don't pre-order when you take content out of the game, and
So there is one.
This also punishes people that do pre-order because like you don't actually know if you're going to get this thing. It's only if like they get enough pre-orders in total that it hits the threshold for like maybe if it's a thing you want, you have no control over whether you get that thing.
Right.
I think it's stupid. It is really stupid. This is a great example of something that like I'm sure a marketing department put together and thought like this complex scheme would get people more, excited about it or something. I think it does the opposite. I wouldn't pre-order if I'm not sure like what I'm actually getting for the pre-order. And I sort of agree with the comment that like the stuff is all optional. You don't actually have to care about it. But a lot of the people pre-ordering do care about it. So why are you making them like question whether or not they want to buy your pre-order by saying, well, if you convince other people to pre-order, then you'll all get this stuff. It seems like a slap in the face to a loyal fan that like really wants that third or fourth tier and doesn't get it because not enough other people pre-order. That's not that guy's fault.
Totally, and I think that's his point, right? The slapping. You're right. In a way, it does kind of punish both. I should say there is a collector's edition, which if you want to pay $150, it includes everything, obviously. But it is parsing it out like this. Obviously, is a way to just get more money.
You get a Deus Ex mini fridge,
right? So. However, to the point,
the collector's edition comes with a figurine and some other stuff. Like, I don't think the collector's edition is a bad value if you really want all of that stuff. But a lot of people don't. They just want this kind of standard stuff that you get for pre-ordering, which is like something slightly more than you get for buying it after release date.
Sure, absolutely.
So, some people in the chat have touched on this. Like, when did the games go from like $40 to $50 and then make that final jump? Because from what I remember, they've always been $10 increments to what the max was that they would dare charge for a game. When did it hit 60? Was it 10 years ago? Because
I feel like it was when the PS2 and the Xbox 360 came out, but I could be wrong.
So what year? Because
that was 2004.
The game that I really remember being 60 is like Halo 3, but I might be like totally wrong.
Because and this was the point that Scott was touching on before was if you adjust for inflation, $60 in 2004 today is worth $75.70. So theoretically, they should be charging if the games are the same amount of content, $75 for games. Now, in order to get that value or to get that money that they're losing, because they're really losing out on $15 each time they sell a game.
The thing is, they're not though, right? Because it's a competitive marketplace. No one's
but
saying that was a games. Games might not have been a good value back then at $50 or $60. Like they are now potentially a better value than they were before, and people are still making games at the same price. So like the marketplace works itself out there.
I know, but I'm just playing. I agree with you on that. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but just for the sake of this point, that might be why they're justifying doing so much DLC, is because someone ran the numbers and was like, we're only charging $60. We should be charging this. Oh, I know. Let's create DLC and we'll charge them $15 and then we'll make that money back.
I personally
Type of
think
deal.
that's like I think that's just a good excuse for doing schemes like this in the first place. Like the whole the whole like, well, it's more expensive than ever to create games and we're still charging $60 for them after, many years. It's like, fine, then don't make a game. Or make it $70 and like hope people buy it. But that's the way the marketplace works. And like creating bad schemes for the people that are like basically your most loyal fans, the people pre-ordering and giving you money before they've even seen or played the game. I just don't understand like jerking those people around.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I mean, the other thing that you even get into, like, if you go down kind of into the comments, they start getting into what it costs, right, for these programmers and game developers. Like, what do they get paid per hour? Trying to break it down. But I do agree overall. And someone even in the chat said that really at this point too, like they're selling like video games have gotten so popular, right, to the point where they're selling way more copies of these games than they did in the past, which I think is probably true. So many more people are gaming, have consoles, have PCs. So there is probably more quantity as well. But I mean, it is interesting, though, that I think it's just interesting in the fact that we've gotten to the point that 60 pretty much is the cap, right, for the last 10 years. The fact that the system is pretty much, I mean, obviously PC gaming is different. You have stuff where it's like smaller games that are $15, $20, or the $30. That's interesting too. But it is crazy that for these, and when you're saying adjusting for inflation and stuff, like, right, our currency goes up and down and all that kind of stuff, and it stayed around, like, the marketplace was like 60 is. Like, I don't know what would happen. Has there been a game that ever charged for $70? I don't know. Maybe. It probably
I'm sure
didn't work.
they have, and then the numbers didn't work out to where they're like, well, we sold a lot fewer copies because of that, so it's better just to charge 60.
What we've seen is, like, you'll charge 60, but then you have DLC, you have season passes. That's stuff that didn't used to exist in the gaming world at all. Like, but especially before digital distribution, right?
Oh,
you were paying for a $60 game, but then, like, you would just wait until either the expansion or the next game. $60 was like the max they could get from anyone. Whereas now, a lot of games have a strategy around selling you additional content on top of $60 that for that additional content they end up making a lot more money on. Because incrementally, it's $15 or whatever, but it doesn't take even remotely close to the work that the base game took.
Right. Yeah.
My stance on DLC is this. Like, I don't mind DLC. Like Rocket League, I've been playing the shit out of that game. And every time DLC comes out, I instantly buy it because I know I'm getting my money's worth. I only paid $20 for that. I have almost 100 hours in it, so I don't mind. But anytime they release DLC where either you have to pre-order it to get something or to get into something early, like Brandon talked about with betas and whatnot, or if you don't pre-order it, you have no chance at all to get like a special character or this or that, that instantly makes me not want to buy your game. I'm not going to do it. Fuck you. What if I'm like some poor college kid and I don't have $60 to drop on a pre-order because I barely have enough money for ramen? Now I don't get to play as my favorite character for some game that I've loved my entire life? Fuck you. Don't hold back stuff because of that. Allow us to buy it after the fact. I don't know. It just pisses me off.
I don't know if it gets much worse than retailer-specific pre-orders.
That's
like,
probably that's like the lowest of low for me. That like you'll give different pre-order
outlets
bonuses that like you literally cannot get everything unless you were to buy the game multiple times. I don't think this is quite as bad as that, but it's kind of the same because you're basically threatening that this stuff just does not get released unless we get enough pre-orders to cover it, which I think is kind of dubious. Like, it makes me not want to pre-order at all because if I care about any of these bonuses, I don't want to risk that I don't get them.
Yeah.
It just seems weird to tell your loyal fans, like, hey, if there aren't enough of you, then we're going to give you less for your money. That's a weird thing to say when you're trying to get them to pre-order your game.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
This whole
So I
thing
think we're
makes
coming
me not
around to
wanna
the fact
buy it.
that this see that, and that's my problem. Like, I don't honestly, like, I'm not going to do any pre-order stuff or any of that because after playing Deus Ex Human Revolution recently, beating it, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that game, and and then I met with this, but I mean, I'll wait. I'm not going to pre-order or do any of that stuff. But so I think we're all pretty much saying that this. I mean, their scheme in particular is bullshit. I think we can all agree with that. I think
I
we're
mean,
all pretty
and
much
let
on
me
the
be
same
clear,
page.
like my personal stance, I actually don't care
Yeah.
about any of these bonuses. Like I
Right.
think most people
Same.
probably don't care about these bonuses, but like that in my eyes is justification for why you shouldn't pull this kind of scheme to begin with. I normally wouldn't even take a second look at an article like this because I don't care about any of it. But I care about it like in principle and kind of the precedent it sets
Right.
when other games are going to look at what Deus Ex did and like ask questions or like think, oh, this big marketing department did this. We should figure out some complex strategy like this. It's like, no, you probably shouldn't. Like, spend your money elsewhere.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And if one game does it and it works, then everyone else is going to go, "Oh, I didn't think of that. Let's try that too." Like, but if they do it and it completely flops, then everyone's going to be like, "I don't know if we should do that. That didn't work so well for them." So, but I don't know. We always say vote with your wallet, but it doesn't seem to always work
Yeah.
unless it's an extreme flop.
Well, if you
So-
vote
Yeah.
with your wallet here, no one is getting any of this stuff.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's true.
And that's the-
exactly.
and
Yeah,
that's
no
the-
one will get the game early.
So I guess that's
So-
like that's sort of the conclusion is the only way, like, if you don't pre-order it, you won't get any of it for sure. So don't pre-order it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't do it. Yeah, exactly. It's really backfiring their whole scheme right here. It's not looking good.
What about
Man.
pre-ordering and letting the incentive raise all the way up, and then everybody?
And I
just
feel like with
retracts
this
their
is like
pre-orders?
the marketing team like just got such a boner for being like augment, like using the word augment your pre-order.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
the whole thing started with like we can tell people to augment their pre-order and like it's a social experiment, and if we get enough augments or tiers, then we can release the game early. Like
Get
I
your
honestly
load
feel
out.
like
Oh,
get your load
quit.
out. and
actually,
your load
if we go like one layer deeper,
Yeah.
I haven't actually looked at the site they have for this, so I don't know if there's any sort of accountability. But so like for Dota 2, like the Dota 2 International, when they raise money for the prize pool, they show you how much money has been raised, and they'll like
Right.
give you additional incentives that if you hit certain benchmarks. But that's keeping it accountable, right? They're showing you exactly how much money is going to the prize pool, and so that can kind of foster the sense of community. I feel like maybe that's sort of what they were trying to do here, but unless they like actually show you how many pre-orders they've gotten or whatever, if I'm that marketing department, there is a part of you that is like, oh, we're a few weeks out and we haven't hit these goals that we know people want. Let's just look like we hit it. And let's open the
Sure.
tiers so that more people will pre-order. Like that's when
Yeah.
you start going down the rabbit hole.
That's when it
Yeah.
gets real dangerous.
That's an excellent point too.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. Well, all right. Either way, I'm going to play this game because I'm really excited for it. But yeah, definitely one of the worst pre-order pre-order debacles or schemes that we've seen in a long time. And it's gotten a lot of press too. And I mean, I don't. It doesn't seem. I don't think they're going to really do anything about it. I think they're just kind of weathering the storm of popular opinion. So if you do order the DLC, I guess let us know and then tell us why. We would love to know. Maybe send in. Maybe someone next week can. I'm just kind of like I almost want to get the Taters guy on here to talk about what he like his side. Like the guy commenting and be like, "All right, are
Try
you?"
and track down taters.
I got to track down Taters, dude. We talked about you, man. Your comment. All right,
I
well,
can
good
just
discussion.
only imagine the shitstorm that would happen if a bunch of people pre-ordered and they just didn't get the stuff because there wasn't enough. It's just I just
That's
can't
why
see that.
I think the marketing department would there would be such a strong incentive to just like turn the dial and
Mm-hmm.
not tell anyone, right, that you did it yourself. That's again, that's like your daily dose of cynicism, but I would not be shocked if that actually happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right. Well, good discussion. The pre-orders, the schemes they roll on till the end of time, probably. Now that we're in this world, so
It made me mad, so mission accomplished.
there you go. Good. We're gonna just got two really quick hits before we jump into the viewer questions. Shovel Knight, a game that I've never played but has been talked about endlessly on this cast. Their DLC, Plague of Shadows, has been released this week. So if you play Shovel Knight, and I've heard it's a fantastic game,
It's
the
free
DLC is out.
That's
And it
like
is
a good
free.
example of
There you
know,
go.
a game that doesn't have like it doesn't cost $60. It's a great game. They release free DLC. I think that's why that's like one of the reasons why AAA games are held at $60 because you have so many great games. You know, like again, like Rocket League, right? Games that are charging a pretty reasonable price for what you get, and though you have the customers looking at a game like that saying, do I really want to pay this much more money for something that's supposed to be AAA. But then sometimes those games don't work well. They have technical problems, like they're badly optimized. There are all sorts of things that I think like the smaller indie games, like the smaller teams, are actually keeping those AAA studios honest by not really letting the market go over $60.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Man, they love you, man. The indie, I love the way Brandon talks about the indie developers keeping them honest. They are the last. They are our last defense, man, against us just being all swallowed up. It's true though. No, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Part of the reason they're probably staying. So,
but Shovel Knight is really good. I would recommend it.
It is good.
All right, so that's happening. Yep, free DLC. And Dark Souls 3 is slated for April 2016. Katie Zen, get excited. It has a April 2016 release date. So, is there anything you would like to add to that other than just the woo? Because feel free. This is your time.
I feel like if I added anything more, it wouldn't be a PG cast.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
This involves you taking your clothes off or pleasuring yourself to the news, or.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we are a PG cast, so I appreciate you censoring yourself.
I apologize for the outburst earlier, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, you used
I'll
the
make a
F-bomb,
public apology.
You used the F-bomb twice, I think, so that was pretty crazy.
I was mad, man.
It's uncalled for.
I was going to say, man, I haven't put a lot of hours into Dark Souls 2, but I just checked on Steam. I have 83 hours into Dark Souls 2.
Wow,
So,
there you go.
well,
I think in the grand scheme of things, maybe for Dark Souls players, that's not much, but yeah, for someone on the outside, that's a lot.
yeah, well, that's the thing, too. I know people have hundreds upon hundreds of hours, so I'm sitting here going, I haven't finished the DLC. I'm not a true Dark Souls 2 fan, but 83 hours, that's pretty significant.
Dark Souls seems
You know,
like
I actually haven't played any of the DLC, to be honest. Like, it's just, there was a period of time where it just came out so often. They kept updating the game, putting in the new ending, putting in all the DLC, then releasing it, like, on 3 different styles. It was too much.
So you felt overwhelmed? You couldn't, like, catch up?
I just felt exhausted. Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel dismayed about the future of the series, and it hurt. And I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Do you think Dark Souls, I think we have mentioned this in another cast, but do you think Dark Souls is going to be able to keep up this kind of release cadence? Like, this is basically a year after Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's true. This is the 3rd year in a row that they'll be having one Souls game per year, being Dark Souls 2.
Bloodborne seems to have been received really well, so I guess if they
yeah,
can keep pumping out
had
good
the time.
games.
Yeah, up until then, well, it was like, there were 2 development teams. The second one that didn't have the director, like the main, Miyazaki, who was responsible for everyone, like everything. I mean, Dark Souls 2 didn't have Miyazaki. It was made by the B team, supposedly. And then while that second team was making 2, the first team made Bloodborne. And so with 3 coming out this shortly, and you have to remember that Dark Souls 2 is consistently getting more DLC, all this new content, while Bloodborne came out. And when Dark Souls 3 was announced, I saw a lot of people saying, where are they fitting in the development time for this, But it seems to be kind of like a merge of the 2. And all of that is it's not, proven that there are 2 different teams. I'm not sure, but I feel
so
like
you're spreading
as long
gossip and
as,
rumors.
Yeah, what other place to do it? No,
The hot From Software beef here.
I just, I have faith now that I've seen the game, and I know that Miyazaki is behind it. So I have faith that it'll keep the same level of quality going. But I am not a fan of, the possibility of a yearly release slowing down the quality.
The real question is, when is From Software going to start doing these DLC schemes? That's the with
they
the
did
tiers.
for 2. They did.
Did they? Did they do
No,
one?
oh no. Shit.
Oh God, the slander! He's having to backtrack. He backtracked so hard he broke his keyboard. Oh my God.
No, Dark Souls 2 is the only one that did a season pass came out for.
Oh, the season pass. Okay. Well, yeah, that's.
No.
I mean more like the tiers and being like, hey guys, if we sell it.
Oh no.
I think that's gonna happen.
Get access to the final boss day 1.
All right, Brandon. Do we want to run one more ad before we jump into the questions, or do we try to jump in? That's your call, man.
Yeah, we'll drop a 60-second real quick.
All right, take a quick break, and we'll be right back with your questions.
Drop down a smooth 60.
Smooth
60
Sophie
ads
60.
per second. 60 ads per second. Wow, that would be pretty nuts. Can you imagine how fast that would have to flash?
I have like 60 windows open.
That's actually an idea, man. I got to get with some advertisers and think about like just cram in. Think about if it was 60 ads a second.
Like the I don't know the
How
term
subliminal.
for it. Yeah, this like the subliminal stuff where you you actually just see like one ad for a half second
Exactly.
every few minutes that you watch.
I mean, that way it's less intrusive. It's just a real small still for like half a second.
Oof.
I don't know. That could work.
Oh, man.
That could work. I'm down
I'm
with
gonna
that.
take this straight to the product team.
Yeah. Okay. Do it.
I
So
remember
I
one
can
time-
too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. You fits
The
relevant.
Witness.
You go for it.
The Witness from Jonathan Blow, who made Braid, has a release date now, January 26, 2016.
Oh, we should have talked
Some
about
news.
that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We might
Never
Thank you, I
played
can't
Braid,
say
but I heard it was incredible.
Oh my god, that's one of the best games ever made
It's
in my
great.
book.
The only thing I know about Braid is I watched the indie dev Netflix, or not the Netflix one, but it was the one that's Phil Fisher.
Yeah.
The
The indie game. The indie
The
game.
indie game. Sorry,
It was like
indie movie.
something like that, yeah. What that have? Like Fez, Braid.
As Braid.
I don't think it had Minecraft.
No.
No.
Maybe one
What's
or
the other one?
it focused on those two, but I think there were probably others.
It was a great documentary, though.
It was great, man.
Yeah,
Love
Braid
watching.
is one of the finest examples of art in a game.
It's our first look into the slow demise of Phil Fish's psyche, I believe. Indeed.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, also, did it focus on
Super Meat Boy.
Super
Bam.
Meat Boy?
And yes, or
Thank-
Binding of Isaac, because I know Danny B.
I think it was
and-
Super Meat
wait,
Boy
was
at
it
the
Danny?
time.
Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, it was Super Meat Boy. 'Cause I don't think
Yeah.
was Isaac out by then.
That's right. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Isaac-
Isaac had already come out. Yeah.
I don't
What's
know.
what's the name of the guy? Oh no, he made Binding of Isaac.
It's
Super Meat Boy.
Edward
Villain.
Edmund.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was Meat Boy.
Okay. Anyway, the ad's over, and we're going to jump into viewer questions. Got a few decent ones. Let's start off with Learn to Spell. No stranger to that name. What's up, Learn? He asks, "What is our favorite guilty pleasure video game?"
I don't want to talk about it.
Nikon, you had an answer. You saw this question and had an
It
answer.
immediately came to mind because
I
I've
wanna
been
know.
clean of this. Is it even on my favorites? Did I go so far
God.
as to add it to my favorites, even though? No, it's not.
It's gonna
Thank
be a
the-
Gary.
Thank
It's-
the Lord.
What is it?
I last played it on Wednesday. Shit. I have 104 hours in this
Oh my god.
game, and the audio listeners don't see me using my finger quotes.
Okay.
Clicker Heroes.
Clicker.
You know,
Hero.
I downloaded that. I haven't played it. Is it?
Don't. It's stupid. It's not fun, but you just.
Keep doing it.
104 hours? That's a
You
lot.
don't do anything. Like
Yeah,
I've
it's
left it
it's
running.
like a game that basically promotes you idling in the game.
That's true. Can I say though that you have more hours in Clicker Heroes than you do in Dark Souls, or was it Bloodborne? I forget
It's
what you
true. And you know
Oh,
why
it's
is because I downloaded an auto clicker, and I had it like clicking it like
okay.
1,000
See,
times per
that's
second,
like-
and I left it open.
That's
and
how
I'm
you know
not-
you have a problem. Is like it's already pointless, but you download a thing to make you get like move faster in the pointless thing.
Yeah, to move along.
I just hope
Accelerate
my
your
wife's
progress
not.
of pointlessness.
I hope my wife's not listening anymore.
Oh God, the guilt. I can see the guilt, man. You look more guilty than when you
instant
jerk off to
divorce,
something real dark, and then you see like this is even more shame than that.
It's not
That definitely
even fun.
I don't think I have a good answer to this one, but now I see where this question comes from.
Yeah.
It's like there are some of those games where you just like tab out when you see people coming by because you don't want them to know.
Oh shit.
I mean, the easy
Guilt.
answer.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The easy, obvious answer for me is, of course, Orion Prelude. I
Yes.
just I see
That's right. How do you both
177
have
hours
great
in that.
answers for
and I-
this.
Yeah, that is.
But I feel like yours
177
is not even a
hours.
guilty pleasure. Like you wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, is that guilt really?
You did,
But you have
you did
played
a
a-
whole extra life stream. That's you can't. That's not
Yeah,
guilty
yeah.
pleasure.
See,
Yeah,
though,
that's true.
we
You're just
started
a
diving into
masochist.
this with him. He was when
I'm
he was
sure-
on the last time, or one of the times, Katie. I think when you were the guest last
It
time.
was
we
the
really
first
started,
time I was on. Yeah.
First
yeah.
time we started digging into, and there was a lot of shame there and a lot of guilt. Basically, we got to the point,
was.
Brandon. I think you were here. That he basically got to the point where he said that he had invested so much time into it and research that he basically did it. It was so terrible, but he couldn't let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it deserved
I was
so much.
asked like, I thought about it later. Like I was asked, so give me the pitch right now why Ryan Prelude is so good. And instead of even talking about the game, I started talking about the history of its development. And then I started thinking like, wait, why do I like this game?
Right.
It's just
And the thing that's so funny is you were probably the only person. I want to say that you were very, other than the people that actually
It's
made
fun.
the piece of garbage, you are probably the only person in the entire world that has that much knowledge about like the development, the history, the mechanics. Like you could single-handedly write the Wikipedia for that game. Probably.
I
if you had
could.
to.
Yeah, the whole.
Yeah.
God, what a.
So I'd say that's fair. That's
That's true.
That's fair.
It qualifies, but you definitely, I think you're
Okay,
just
yeah.
more. I don't think you actually like get pleasure out of it. That's the thing.
Yeah, did you
Guilty
get pleasure?
No.
implies that like there's a piece of your brain that likes it. I don't think you have that.
I'm
Just
living
one
a
more
lie.
click, man. Just one more click.
Yeah.
Just one
Just
more
one more.
fucking
Did
dinosaur.
you open it,
shit.
Nikon? Close it. I can see
No,
it. You're
no.
I don't see. The thing is, I don't really have any game guilty pleasures because, and I don't. I'm unapologetic. Like I don't really have anything as far as like the clicking. I don't play any mobile games. Like for me, I don't know. Like maybe I just don't have a good answer for this, but anything that I play that I actually enjoy, I never really feel guilty about. Which I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sick individual and I have no shame. That could very well be.
Well, that is
But I'm just
true,
like,
but
that is true. But I'm just like I enjoy it. Like I'm not going to apologize.
no, I think
don't-
I don't think I have an answer for this either because I can't think of a game that I've played and I've enjoyed that I've been like ashamed to talk about or like ashamed to play more because Clicker Heroes like I see where you're at with that one. Orion Dino Beatdown or now I'm sorry Orion Prelude.
Thank you. No.
Yeah, I don't really have one like that because like the closest I can think is like Plants vs Zombies or something, but like that's a
That was
okay
a good
game.
game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Have you played those like Bloons tower defense games?
Oh,
At all?
Yeah.
I'll say that. Yeah, but that I also
Yeah.
think that's just
There's
like I also think
strategy
that's a
to
great
that,
game.
though, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think
So
those are
I was
legitimately good
thinking
games.
like I have to think of one answer that's not fucking Orion again.
Yeah, that's what
But,
that's. I was trying to think of like stuff I play on my phone or my tablet, but
Yeah.
like Bloons, I actually think is a really good tower defense game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
be
new
my
answer.
Guilty pleasure, sure.
Okay,
Right.
now I just thought of one. Kitty Powers Matchmaker. Okay, it's a game
How
where
did that
you
not
match.
come to your mind?
I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I got
blocked
triggered.
it out.
I did block it out, but I'm not
Just-
guilty. I'm not guilty. Actually, it's a really well made, fun game, and it's this person in drag who like is the head of the house, and then you put people together. It's really fun. But
I
you're
think
right.
It
It does
says more
fall.
about you that you thought you didn't have a guilty pleasure game, and then at the last second you remember your Kitty
Yeah.
Powers matchmaker game.
Yeah. That totally falls under the category. I guess it goes back to the fact that I don't have any, like, I don't feel shame about it. I really, truly enjoy playing that game. So, but that would definitely be a game that I think most people would be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that I play that. So,
Okay, I have a new answer. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, audio listeners, but I'm going to
Uh-oh.
give a demonstration on my screen. I downloaded this game on my phone. It's called Sonic vs. Poods. And what you do is
oh no.
you kind of run from a giant PewDiePie face. Oh shit! No, come on! It's gotta go Poods.
Wow.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Is that
The
like a
visuals.
sanction?
This is my
Is that
guilty
actually a
pleasure.
sanctioned
And then
PewDiePie
get
game?
an
Or is that
ad.
just
That is
that's
that's not Sonic.
It's,
That's Sanic.
Sanic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sonic.
straight
Gotta
up.
go Poods.
Wow, that is
That's
actually
my true guilty pleasure game.
fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Wow. Did you pay for that or was that free?
No, it was free.
Okay.
I would not.
If
Yeah,
you paid
it's
for
like-
that, man, we'd have
It
to
was
talk.
$29.99 I put into that game.
Holy
I probably
Just wait
gave
for
them
the
$30.
DLC.
Oh please.
All right.
So many
We'll,
ads.
we'll be moving on from our very own Katie Zen. But a good question. You asked us, who are your friends? We had a little bit of a tiff earlier where he was like, Katie Zen said that he's like, I could have just asked this question to my friends, and we were like, aren't we your friends?
No, I didn't say that. I
What
said
did
I wanted to ask my friends this question. I consider
Oh.
you guys friends, so I put it in the doc.
Oh, I thought you were like saying that like you
Oh
you
my-
could just ask your
Not
real
my
life friends this. Yeah, I
You think I'm
remember.
not your friend?
No, I do think you're my friend, but okay, never mind. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Never mind. So what is our favorite video game power-ups? Or yeah.
That's a good question, actually. Hmm.
Mine,
I
so
don't have an immediate
this
answer
is
to this.
this is more recent, and I guess power-ups, I don't know. I'm going to go in the augment category because I did just finish Human Revolution. There's a really cool augment you can get for Adam Jensen that is called the Typhoon, and basically what he does is he shoots these explosives in like a 360 radius around him. And it also like goes on the ground, and it basically like helps you get out of a close quarters situation, and it's almost like it looks like Neo, and you have like a slow motion thing, and it destroys everything in its path, and it's really fucking sick. So I mean, is an augment, can that be considered a power up, or do I have to go like more retro?
I think that's fair.
Okay, yeah, that was one of my favorites from recent memory. But
I was trying to think of one, but now I'm looking at reviews for the Gotta Go Poots games.
oh my god, are the reviews?
Love it. I love
They're
it.
pretty good.
Oh man,
It's my favorite YouTuber. Love it.
oh man.
A couple of mine are from these power-ups you got. Well, they're not actually. Well, I don't know if you'd call them power-ups. It's after you beat the game in the original Metal Gear Solid, you can get a bandana that you wear that gives you infinite ammo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah, that
you get
counts.
stealth camouflage that makes you completely invisible, and so you can just freely walk up to enemies and like plant bombs on them.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that was cool.
All right.
I have to say, like any kind of racing game that has like Need for Speed Underground when you had the NOS, like anything that makes me go faster, which is probably why I love Rocket League because it's Rocket League. It's got a rocket on the back of it. But stuff like that, for whatever reason, it's just like, oh, I just want to hit that button again. So I gotta go fast. It's like Sonic syndrome.
Speaking
I
of
don't
Santa, that game. Cute. Okay. Brandon, are you still thinking, or are you looking at reviews of?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been completely derailed.
All right. Maybe we'll
Because
come back.
now all I can think about is stuff related to Sonic. Not even
Oh,
Sonic,
there's
but
some-
Sonic the meme.
Yeah. I wonder if my answer would have been different if you wouldn't have shown that. Now it's on my mind. Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
There's a review from Calvin Shannon. He says
Jesus.
G2G Fast M89s. 69 out of 420 IGN is okay. Come on, step it up. Which is, of course, come on, step it up.
Wow.
Here's
Fantastic.
another. I do go fist, but can you add something like screaming and PewDiePie shouting? I got you.
Wow.
He
Wow.
that guy didn't give it 5 stars. He was like, PewDiePie
Really?
doesn't shout. It's 4 stars.
Yeah. B5.
No, no
Add that,
shouting.
and I'll maybe change my rating.
I can't really think of anything because the stuff I was thinking about, I don't really think qualifies as power-ups. Because I was thinking like
Yeah.
the jetpack in Tribes, but that's not a power-up. It's just a mechanic of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to give an answer that I already think is like not.
Yeah, that's what
not
I'm struggling
applicable
with
to the
is like
question.
what's defined as a power up? Because like the shout in Skyrim was really fun because you got to launch people off the side of a mountain, but that's part of the game. You need that to actually advance. Rocket League, obviously, if you're not using the rocket, you're at a disadvantage. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is a hard one. I feel like it kind of pins you into a retro answer because those ones have specific things like, Mario mushrooms. It's like that is probably the power up everyone knows. It's like you don't need
Yeah.
it, but it helps you get through the game and it's
Right.
cool.
That's the PR speak answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be my favorite one. That's just the one that I think about. Like I'm comparing, trying to think of other power ups that are in that vein, and I can't really think of other stuff that's like that. I don't know, that well known.
Mm.
Okay. That's
What
good
about
enough.
the resin in Dark Souls that like makes your sword on fire, stuff like that? That stuff's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Is that
All right, all right.
Okay.
That stuff's cool. Almost asking for validation. Like, is it cool? You guys are my friends. You would tell me if it's not alright, right?
Be honest.
Be honest.
Doing okay.
Is that cool or no cool? I love Katie Zen. He's such an supple 18-year-old. So
All
good.
right.
Oh my god, I'm fucking
I'm changing-
19.
Oh, he's 19. He's 19
No,
and
dude.
a half.
You are forever 18.
Yeah, I'm 19.
You're-
Oh,
I'm
You are
19 and
forever
3
18
quarters.
according to your name, dude.
I'm changing my answer, though. I thought of one. So,
Yeah.
GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, probably one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah.
To unlock the cheats in this, you have to beat games at a specific difficulty level under a certain amount of time.
Right.
You had to beat the second level facility in under 2 minutes and 5 seconds to unlock invincibility. That was a great power up and was a reward for beating the level in an incredible amount of time. So I have to say that's easily my choice now that I think about it, now that I've had time to digest the question.
Okay. All right. That's a good answer. It's a good answer.
Actually,
I don't know if
yeah,
is that a power up? I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, we're being liberal with this.
Yeah, if we're being liberal with it, my favorite power up, IDKFA. The fact that none of you immediately know what that is disappointing.
Yeah. No.
What was
I'm
it?
not. I don't even want to explain it because you could literally Google
Oh,
it and
no.
you would see it.
I
Instantly.
actually pulled up
What?
another tab. I feel terrible now.
Should I know instantly what it is, though? Will I know instantly? Oh, it's Doom. It's Doom, right?
It's
Okay.
it's like one of the most iconic cheat codes of all time.
Yes. I'm sad that I didn't pick that out right away.
Doom
Gives you
Doom
all
is
the,
like
it gives you everything.
It gives you
all
all the weapons. That's like
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
I remember using that to get the BFG.
Okay. Okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry,
Yeah, that's a good
let's
answer.
cheat like you, Brandon.
I never used that. Which one did I use?
It
to
didn't
get
say what is the
the
best
cheat?
cheat. It said what is the best power up.
I know that, but again, I didn't have a good answer, so I tried to think of an answer. I tried to contribute to this question before we moved on.
Fair enough. No, you did. That's a good. All right, we're gonna move on. All right. So Whackman3209 said, "How do you take your coffee?"
Black.
I don't drink coffee, so
You don't ever drink coffee?
I mean, no, I mean, I don't. Maybe I've drank coffee maybe twice in the last 2 years. I just don't. I've never gotten in the habit. Yeah, I never became a coffee drinker.
Okay, but so when you drank it twice in the last
What?
2 years, how did you take it?
I had cream and sugar in it. I did. I did take
Okay.
cream and sugar.
All right,
can't
so we're
do
getting to
sugar.
the bottom of this now.
Yeah. Brandon's like, what did you? Okay. Yeah. What about you guys?
I only
Black.
put a little bit of creamer in mine.
Okay. No sugar, huh? You like it
Very
black
nice.
with a little bit of cream.
I don't understand people that like sugar in their coffee. What is wrong with you?
See, I use some
Oh.
sugar. I can't normally drink just black coffee.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I just
It's
like
too bitter.
Yeah, it's just not like when I started drinking. I didn't originally drink coffee hardly at all until I started working, and I think I've like kind of told this. That's not really a story, but just like anecdote of when you're working at just a job that you go to every day. Like there are some things that you just kind of cling to as like your constants each day, and so one of those for me was like in the morning. You go get a cup of coffee, and I just liked having a warm beverage, like just kind of sitting at your desk, easing into the day. It's not that I loved coffee; it was just like you could go get something hot and just kind of sit there and sip on it, and it's nice and comforting. But like work coffee is generally trash. Like I'm pretty sure I have trashed Folgers on this
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
before, but Folgers is garbage. It is like actual garbage. So a lot of places, like I'm just used to drinking. I don't love bad coffee, but I know how to drink bad coffee, and that is with like some cream and like a decent amount of sugar. You do not want to drink black Folgers coffee because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If it's bad coffee, I put some cream in it. Then that's just a fact.
Yeah, so like that's how I started drinking coffee was with some cream and sugar because that takes the edge off and you can drink bad coffee that way. But if it's really good coffee, like now living in San Francisco, I've had some great coffee, and that I can drink with like almost no sugar. And I've cut down on cream over time. So like I think I feel like in the next 5 years or so, I will turn into one of the people that drinks black coffee, but I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
Sorry, I won't judge.
Evolution of taste.
Now, is it bad that I can only ever have coffee, not coffee, that I make? Like, I can never go out to another place because I'm always worried. Like, do they put in enough creamer? Do they put in liquid creamer instead of powdered creamer? Do they? Put
I'm
in enough
curious.
sugar?
What kind of coffee do you drink? What is your what are you making?
Well, I use like a Keurig, just Sumatra, like a special like liquid. Some of like the what? What?
I was sitting here thinking you were gonna talk about like the artisan coffee you make.
You broke them.
I don't know why that's so.
I only use a French press to make my coffee. No, I use a Keurig. I just pop it in, slam that bitch down, and I push a button. That's fancy as fuck. I don't drink it from someone else. I don't know what they do to that coffee. They might have hit the wrong button on it.
It wasn't even. I'm sorry. It wasn't even. It was just the way that it started, and then Brandon got me, and then he came out.
It took a little bit of time to process when you were saying like I can't drink coffee at other places.
But I do it so simple.
Brandon thought you were gonna have like fresh coffee beans from like somewhere in Africa, I think, or something.
My coffee beans have gone through the digestive tract of a kitten.
Right, exactly.
I was gonna say like a lot of places like that's why a lot of people like Starbucks because you put your own cream and sugar in if that's how you like it.
Yeah.
Should never have said anything.
No, it was
That's actually one of the reasons that I don't like coffee from certain places because if they don't have like cream and sugar, I don't want to tell them like, oh, I don't want to give it back to them and be like, oh, I'm sorry, can you put some cream and sugar in this?
Yeah.
And then you have to hope they get the amounts right. That's why I like a place like Starbucks where they just they let you do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, like, okay, I shouldn't say, like, if I go to Starbucks, I can get a hot drink, but is it anything close to coffee? No, like, by the time they're done putting all the liquids in that thing, it's like I'm drinking, like...
At Starbucks, I just get their normal, like, medium roast coffee.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. Which, that's why, like, when people say Starbucks is bad, I'm like, where are you going that you have access to, like, this premium coffee? Like, Starbucks is not bad at all. Starbucks is pretty good for my $2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you just want to spend a little money and you want to treat yourself, just like the schools to Northern.
Oh my god.
If you want to get an espresso, get an espresso. If you want to get 3 soft layers, you know where to go.
You're working on it.
Just saying.
You're the Billy Mays of selling toilet paper, dude. You got the beard for it already, too. You just now need the cocaine, and you'll be set.
Oh, yeah, I need a little cocaine.
Sometimes you got to get those premium Keurig pods, not the
That's
generic
right.
stuff.
That's right. God, I don't know why that killed me so much.
I'm never
Katie,
talking
you
about
didn't even
coffee
say.
ever again.
We like nuked that topic for Katie.
I don't drink coffee anymore.
Okay, yeah, you're over it. All right. So, are we doing this one? Okay, we're not. We don't. Yeah. Okay. And we've got one more from Italicized, and he said, if you could painlessly get a tattoo on your balls, what design would you choose? Painlessly.
It would have. I don't know what it would be, but I know it would have to be some kind of face or some kind of design. Because, like, on a hot day, when your balls are like hanging down to your knees, then you can do some fun stretchy things with it in the mirror. And it's like in Super Mario 64, when you went to the main menu, you could grab on Mario's nose and move it around. Same thing with your balls.
Wow.
Just think about it. You don't want to fuck this up. You get one shot. So you got to have fun with it. You got to live a little.
Jeez.
I'm concerned about that answer to this question.
Yeah, I don't. So wait, when
think
it's
about it,
super
and you
hot
tell me that that's a
balls,
lie.
wait.
Mario's
super,
face.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little. They don't go down to my knees, but there's definite.
How much lower do your? I mean, I've
Thanks
been
for
hot
clearing
too.
that up.
You grow up in the mean streets of Sacramento when it's 110 out. Your balls are gonna hang a little low.
I've never heard of that. Like, I mean, I've heard of like like when it's cold, what happens to that area of the male
It's
body.
the same thing.
When it's hot, you're saying it does the reverse. They drag super.
I mean,
low.
I've heard the term sweating balls when it's
Yeah.
hot,
That's true.
but that doesn't change like the shape or.
I'm not saying they're changing shape. I'm just saying your sack gets a little loose and it hangs a little lower. It's trying to get away from your body. Your body produces heat, man. It's science.
Okay. All right.
Just when you get out of the pool, they cling to the inside of your taint.
I mean, yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Having grown up in Texas, which is, very hot 9 months out of the year, I'm afraid I can't corroborate this story.
All right, you know what?
I think you may just have something. You may just have a very unique set of balls, which is totally fine.
I think this. You thought this had to do with the environment. This is actually just a very unique piece of your anatomy.
Yeah, this is your superpower that they hang that low when it's warm.
Well, maybe I should see a doctor. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, as long as there's no lumps or any hard masses, I think you're fine. Just make sure you do the check.
I mean, everyone has 3 balls, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah, all 3 of them
okay.
real low.
You might want to go to the doctor, actually. If you could paint, what tattoo would I? Painlessly get a tattoo. I mean, I like your answer. Your answer is good. I don't know. Yeah, it would definitely have to be a face of some kind, something that you could distort.
I'd get
Donald
a
Trump.
face on the very
2016.
Donald Trump. You know what I would do? I would do a squirrel face so that the cheeks were my 2 balls. So it looked like the squirrel had, you know what I mean? Always had a full set.
I get it.
Looked like the squirrel just had a full set of nuts in its mouth, because it actually does.
That was perfect.
I didn't even do that originally.
Oh,
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, that was the perfect answer.
It would have to be a squirrel.
no one's
I was
gonna top
gonna.
that.
Oh, I don't even want to say mine. I was gonna say like the springs from Sonic, so that the balls twang, twang. But it's just not even funny.
Yeah, well, all right.
It's perfect.
Okay. End on that. But we do, before we end, we do need to go over the iTunes podcast review of the week, and I will let Brandon handle this, and then we will be out of your hair. Brandon, what do we got?
Well, we only got one review this week.
Okay.
Luckily, it was an all right review. Like I'm not dissatisfied with the quality of the review, but
Sure.
it serves as a good reminder for like just how close you are to fame reviewing this podcast on any given week, because you would have had exactly a 50% chance if you had done it this week, aside from this one guy. So he wins by default and gets he gets his 15 minutes of fame. You could also get that next week or the week after. You might have multiple iTunes accounts. You might have multiple family members. Like, listen, there's opportunity for you to be famous more than once through some sleight of hand and trickery.
Yep.
But all you need to do is download iTunes on some device, and you log in. You just search KBMOD under the podcast section. We should be the only result. At least every time I search, we're the only result. And you leave us a nice little review. Now, the only rule is that it has to be 5 stars, because 5 stars is the only rating that matters. If you're listening to the podcast and you don't think it's 5 stars, why are you listening to the podcast? Like, I don't know how you would have made it to the end of one of our podcasts if you didn't think this was the best thing. Like, if you don't think we could do any better. But if you do, leave it in the comment, right? Leave us 5 stars. You can trash us in the comment. Like, I want your honest opinion. But you have to give us 5 stars to qualify for this review. And just in general, if you leave us less than 5 stars, I won't be a fan of yours anymore. So we only had one review this week, but I think the sentiment speaks for a lot of people and the strong feelings they have toward the cast. So go ahead, Scott.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yes. The title of this review is It Okay, and it is by Baducci. Again, I will try to read this with as much emotion as I imagine that he typed this with. I have listened to a lot of podcasts, and I can say that this one is definitely okay. And I think we all agree with the sentiment. I think our podcast is pretty okay. And like Brandon said, the opportunity for you to to write a review that will get featured here, the barrier to entry is about as low as it's ever been. So if your dream has been to ever review or get your name ever spoken at a podcast, get him in next week. You have a good chance. Flansley, even you maybe. Flansley, I'm talking to you directly. You might have a chance. The time is now. Absolutely. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for episode 206. Thanks for hanging with us. We will be back next week with episode 207, hopefully with the full crew, pending any more giant rocks coming out of their penises. So, again, not taking shots. Hex, I hope everything's fine. I hope they broke that thing up. But yeah, it's been real, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Oh, that was a good one.